Hi everyone. We just covered our beginner level lesson 1 on the staff, clefs, and ledger lines. So why don't we try some exercises to practice? So we're going to go to our website, musictheory.net, and as I previously mentioned, they have an exercise section up here. And in this exercise section, they have a few different uh, exercises you can try out. So we're going to try this first one, note identification. Let's click there. So here, it's going to give us a note, and we have to select from the buttons the note that we think is right, the note name. So let's see. Up here on the top right, let's go to the gear icon to change some of the settings so that we can make the exercise fit what we need. Let's start with the treble clef. And we'll change to bass clef later. Let's change the range of notes that we are given. Let's go down to the G, open G string of the violin. And let's bring this up to one more step, which is D. Let's try that out. Let's do both lines and spaces. And for now, let's leave accidentals off. Accidentals are sharps or flats. Since we haven't covered that yet, we're gonna leave that out. Okay, let's give this a try. So, when we're first learning note reading, if you are not sure what note that is right from the start, as you practice more, you'll get pretty good at it, and then you'll be able to recognize them right away. But at the beginning, you're gonna need to start from like a point of reference that you know for sure is correct. So luckily, if we remember, our clefs have alternate names to help us with that. So the treble clef is also called the G clef because this point in the middle of the spiral or the circle, which is the second line, is G. So if we go from there, we can go down or up, counting by step line, space line, and we go step at a time until we find what we need. So starting from this line, we have G. Then the next space is going to be A. Next line is B. Next step is C. Next line is D. Next step is E. Next line is F. And finally, the space above that is G. So let's click on G, see if we got it right. Great. So G. Now let's do the same thing here. G, A, B, C, D. Let me go down an octave so I can sing that. D, E, F, G, A. Great. And you'll notice that the A that just sounded was much higher than the one I was singing. That's because I had to go down an octave so that I could sing that pitch because my voice is not high enough for that. So just don't be confused by that. All right, so now next one, let's do the same thing. G, then down, F, E, and finally D, D. Okay, let's do one more on treble clef. So G, A, B, C, D, D, E, F, G. Cool. So you guys see how that works? You can do that process for basically any note. Let's move on to treble clef. So you guys see that is the same deal. So here we're in bass clef now. And let's give this a go. So remember that bass clef, the alternate name for bass clef is F clef, and that's because this fourth line, the fourth line from the bottom, the one that's between the two dots that are centered on the beginning of the clef, is the F line. So just like we did before, we can count step by step down or up to find the note that we need, starting from this fourth line. So let's start F, E, D, C. Cool. All right, so we have some ledger lines at the bottom now. Let's see, following the same process, what we get. So fourth line, F, third space, E, third line, D, second space, C, second line, B, first space, A, and notice I changed octave so I can sing it. Then first line, G, F, E, D, and finally C. And that's pretty low, as you can hear. So, this one's gonna be pretty easy. We can start from F, and then the next space up is G. And that one just one step up from where we were before. So that should be pretty easy. So the next line should be A. Okay, and let's do one more example here. So F, E, D, and finally C. So if you can see, doing this process is very easy to find any pitch on both treble clef and bass clef. Practice more of this at home so you can get really comfortable with it. Okay, see you guys later.